Hello, welcome to Minutes with MACHE. I'm here with Ruth Brinker. I'm Sean Dickers, and this is Josh Hadrava, who's our guest today. And today we're going to talk about how to help our homeschool kids move into their very first jobs. And Josh is a pro at this, and he asked me to let him introduce himself. So I'm going to let Josh introduce himself today so you all know who you're talking to and who we're getting our advice from today. So Josh, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Thanks, Sean. Well, you're very kind with your words. Pro is probably a little excessive, but we try. So my name is Josh Hadrava. I'm with Chick-fil-A at Northtown. So the Chick-fil-A that's in Southern Blaine by the Northtown Mall. I've been the owner operator there for about a year and a half. And just a little bit about myself. So I'm originally from Minnesota. I live in the Twin Cities area. And I'm married, have two children. So my wife, Kelsey, and my two kids, Lauren and Whitney, 5 and 3. And we are soon to be homeschool parents as well. So we're really excited to get plugged in with MACHE and with this group and talk a little bit about kind of what we're doing at the store as well.
Okay. When you reached out to us saying, how can we connect and how can we work together? And as a business owner, reaching out to a homeschool organization, that was kind of an interesting connection, which is why I'm excited to kind of talk to you today. So let's start with kind of the big broad questions. If I'm a teenager and I'm thinking about going out and getting my first job, what are some of the things I should consider? Or what would I expect to learn if I'm going to go to good, because they're making minimum wage. It's not like they're going out to make a boatload of money, but they're going out to learn things and get experiences. What should they look for when they start shopping for their first job?
Sure, great question. So one of the things I would encourage people to do is think about your personality, think about who you are. So what do I like to do? And, really, do I enjoy, like specifically to my industry, do I enjoy working with people and directly facing people? Because it's a great skill to learn in every job that you'll ever have in your career. You're always going to be dealing with people, but there's some things that are more customer facing than others. So those are some of the first things. The other thing I encourage people to think about is what story am I writing about myself with the job that I'm selecting or the career that I'm selecting? Because really, you think about your whole life, you're writing your story, you're writing your resume throughout all that you do, and what is that telling to the people around you, to your future employers? And so I think about, like, as I'm writing this story, does the employer that I'm looking at, do they value what I value? Do they have the same values that I have and my family has? When I go to this workplace, am I surrounding myself with people who are going to make me better, stay the same, or draw me down? And so obviously I want to try to be around people that are going to make me better. And then is this something I can see myself becoming passionate about or being passionate about already in this industry? Because where there's not passion, you're not going to love what you do if you can't find yourself becoming passionate about this. And then as you're writing that story too, longevity is part of that. So is this something that you could see yourself doing for a number of years, or for even at least throughout your younger career? Because employers look at job jumping, and sometimes it can be say, well, I'm trying to find what's right for me, but sometimes it shows a lack of commitment, and so you just want to be careful of that too.
That is great advice for students looking for a job. Thank you. So as an employer, what are you looking for, and what are some outstanding attributes that you are looking for in an employee?
Sure. Great question. So within Chick-fil-A, we really look for the servant leader. So we strive to go after the servant leadership model. And so we look at servanthood and a service mindset within the employees, the people that we bring on, our team members that we interview. And so that service mindset, but then also recognizing the sorry, I have my kids in the background too, but recognizing the speed and pace of the industry that we're in, and especially in these times when everything's running through our drive-thrus, you really have to have someone that's got that sense of urgency and that speed of pace. And so that's another big thing that we look for. And then just coming in for the interview, like, how does a person carry themselves? Do they make eye contact with you on the way in? Do they carry themselves with some energy and with some confidence? We do recognize, we're interviewing all the way down to 14 years old. We start hiring at 14. 16, and then, in 8, all the way, all the way older, but all the way at 14. And so it's often people's first interview. And so there's grace given there, but we do really look at those, how you present yourself, and how you think about how you'll be perceived by the person that you're interviewing with.
So how do you decide, once you've hired people, how do you decide who you give raises to, who you promote within the system, or even who you're starting to recruit for your leadership teams?
Sure, great question. So one thing, just to be clear, so the power of the Chick-fil-A model is that we pride ourselves on our local ownership. So I'm a business partner with Chick-fil-A, the corporation based out of Atlanta, Georgia. But truly, they want this to be Josh and Kelsey's store. Not just, not Chick-fil-A Northtown, not one of the Chick-fil-A Minnesota stores, but Josh and Kelsey's. And so with that, we get a ton of latitude and freedom to be able, we have brand guardrails, but we get the freedom to run the store and operate the store and build the team that we would desire. And so for us, we really, and this is probably going to be consistent around most owner operators, we go through a very similar interview process, selection process. But the people that we look to promote most often are the people that challenge themselves. That we want people that are going to challenge themselves and look to improve themselves, that are self-motivated, not waiting for someone else to kind of show them exactly the way, but are you willing to go out and kind of get it yourself? We look for people that can complete their, like they get tasks and jobs to do, and they follow through with those and complete the tasks and do what it takes to do it, not just, oh, I partially got it done, or, oh, yeah, that's right, I forgot about it. We want people that are going to follow through, because not only does that make, great team members right now, great leaders, but great future leaders in whatever they go on to in their careers. Also just, there's a saying, so work for the job that you want, not the one that you have right now. And so are you taking ownership in the tasks and in the job that you have, like you're the position beyond where you are right now? So taking ownership beyond your position or title. Another big thing for us, and we'll get into it as we talk a little bit more about growth and learning, but is the person coachable? There's some people that will come in and they're great, but they think that they're really great too, and they maybe don't know that there's more to learn. But we're looking for people that are hungry to learn and coachable, because those are the ones that really make it a lot further and really make it in our culture. And then just buy-in and commitment to the business. Like, are you willing to pick up shifts? Are you willing to be there and have, understand what's important to the business and important to the leadership, and have buy-in within that and around that?
Thanks. So the Chick-fil-A, when you contacted us, it's partially because you have programs for young people to support their growth and learning, and you have kind of, you can tell us about it a little bit. What are some of the things, the programs that Chick-fil-A has, or maybe this is just your store and where you're trying to recruit and build team members?
Sure. So again, talking about that local ownership, like you said, we're all similar, but we're all our own stores as well. And so part of the strategy within our store at Chick-fil-A Northtown is to really seek out great young people and grow them up and develop them within our system, so that they may stay a long time within our system and work for us for their career. They may be there for a season until they go on to something else. But we really have a passion about growing those leaders and developing them in a way that they're gonna become better from having been involved in our store. And then, from the business owner standpoint, we get to be the beneficiaries of that person. And so the reason I reached out to you, Sean, is we recognize that, especially within the whole homeschool community and the MACHE organization, there's a high potential for really great youth coming from these families and these communities. So why don't we, rather than go try to develop in exactly what I want in someone, let's find someone that already has the base core values that we're looking for, and then we can just enhance upon that. And so you really get great students that are coming in from your type. We're building this pipeline, and you would be part of our pipeline. And so So with that, I'll talk a little bit about the leadership program that we're kind of coining. And so I talked about my passion and our passion for developing young leaders. And so having that passion and stating that vision has allowed me and Kelsey and I to be fortunate enough to be able to attract some good talent and good leadership talent within our store. And so I actually this last summer hired a woman, her name is Carrie Makowski, and her title in our business is Director of Culture. And so just with that title alone, it just shows the importance of culture in our business and how important that is to grow our business for the future. And so when she kind of interviewed for that and heard that title, she was very excited, and she's got a strong background in coaching and executive coaching, knows what young people need and young professionals need to really make it in the corporate world and in the professional world, and are taking those principles and teaching our young people. Not to mention, she's also a former homeschool mom. Her kids are grown now, but she homeschooled 3 of her children as well out in Stillwater. So we've really built this leadership lab, is what we call it, with a passion around developing these young people.
It's exciting. Ruth, do you have any other questions?
I don't. I just think it's great that it's not just a job, it's seeing their potential and then developing their leadership skills, and what a great place to work.
Yeah, I feel the same. Like, it was nice. It's refreshing to talk to you, Josh, because you see it for what it is. This is a entry-level job, and people are building the skills to really help them out for the rest of their life, versus thinking as a business owner, how much can I get from these people? And just kind of that one-sided relationship, and you just use them till they're burnt out and they have to go somewhere else. But when you have an employer that says, no, I want to help you grow, I want to help you to develop those skills. And I love that you're saying servant leadership. I mean, that comes right out of core values for me and my family. So when you have a good fit like that, when you're saying, why, these people share my values, I think that's great advice. I mean, I want to go home downstairs and tell my 2 kids right now, like, this is kind of a way to think about those first jobs that you get. So yeah, just amazing. Thanks for coming and joining us, Josh.
Yeah, thanks so much for the invite. It was a pleasure being able to share a bit today, and I'm excited for how the partnership can continue forward, and whatever we can do to help with your organization and what you guys are doing there. It would be our pleasure to help out.
Amen.